Welcome to Coding Literacy Flakes 24 of 40. Today we're looking at JavaScript Part 4 iterations, or just how to make things loop over and over again. It's one of the 4 basic constructs with an interactive program such as JavaScript. Okay, to get started we're going to fire up Notepad. Okay, here we go. Now the same thing, we're going to set up a basic Java or HTML page with the appended JavaScript language. So let's get started. So like magic, I've typed up the basic structure. Just a reminder that the doc type HTML with the exclamation mark at the beginning means we're using HTML version 5, so the browser knows that. HTML on, HTML off means the web page starts there and finishes there. Head on, head off means it's behind the scenes scripting going on. Script on, script off means we're in this particular section here, it won't be HTML coding, but it'll be JavaScript coding. Body on, body off means it'll be in front it'll be on screen displays. That's a basic structure. So first of all, as with all JavaScript programs, we need a function. So function, and we call this one print my name. There we go, and a parenthesis. That starts the function, and then we need some sequencing going on with that function, and this function sequencing occurs within braces. There's parenthesis, the round brackets, there's braces, the curly brackets. Okay, so there's a lot of sequencing going in there that belongs to this function called print my name. Okay, because it's interactive, we need to get stuff from the user. So the user feels part of our web page. So we need to open up a variable, and one of the variables we need is, well, we need a name variable. So that's just to get their name, and we also need another variable. I'm going to call this one count. This variable will be used to keep track of our iteration. Iteration means do the same thing several times, and I'm going to use the word count here to remind me how many times we've done it once or twice or 3 times or 10 times. So those variables are opened up. Okay, so now JavaScript knows we're using 2 variables. Okay, so we've got the variables defined there. Now we need to get some data in there. So the name variable is going to be whatever the user types in. So document get element by ID. There'll be an element we're looking for, and the user can type in, and we're going to call this one user name. That's the name of the element. Actually, I just want to stretch it out a bit. What I'm going to do is make it a little bit bigger for you too. So let's just try that. Just give me a second. Okay, there we go. Right. User name by value. Okay, that's the JavaScript syntax required to get the information from the user. There's a value out there going to be called username, and we're going to find it. Now the other one is going to be a for. Now this is where we start an iteration. For. Now we're going to set count. Count's our variable we defined, and we're going to set it at 0. That's the first piece of instruction. When you've got multiple pieces of instructions in JavaScript, as with CSS, you separate it by a semicolon. Next piece of instruction. This is going to keep going, this iteration or this loop, until as long as count is under 10. So count start at 0, and we're going to increment it. Okay, now we're going to increment each loop by 1. That's the syntax for JavaScript, to increment by 1. Okay, so that means we're going to do the following loop. It's going to start at 0 as long as it's under 10, and we're going to keep doing it, but we're going to be incrementing it each cycle. Each cycle of the loop is going to be incremented by 1, so it'll be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and once it gets to 10, it's going to stop. So the sequence for this iteration is defined within the braces again. That's what JavaScript does. There's different types of iterations that we're using the for loop. This is for, and it'll be looping around. There's also a while loop, while do, a number of different ways of iterating, but we're using the for loop. Okay, so what are we going to do for 10 times? Well, basically what we're going to do is print on screen. So document write. So what are we going to write? The document right is defined within parentheses, and inside that you put what you want. Now I want a string. A string means whatever I type in the quotations will be displayed on the screen. So your name is. Now I want to break up this string with a variable. Well, the variable's over here called name, so I'm going to add that variable there. So whatever they put in there, we're going to display it. So we're breaking up string with variable. Now we'll put a string again, and we'll finish off with a exclamation mark, and we'll leave it at that. And that's what's going to happen 10 times. So print your name is whatever you type in, exclamation mark, and it'll do it once, twice, but each time it does a loop, it's going to increment by 1. So it count starts at 0. It'll be 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then when it gets to 10, it's going to stop that iteration. And that's as simple as it gets. Okay, so we have to trigger it in the body section, on the screen section. That's where we do the triggers. Well, first of all, let's put a title in there. So, hello, what is your name? And we're going to finish off the header 3 I'm using. That's just HTML. Now, this is going to get an input. Input ID equals user name. Okay, so over here it's going to the name's going to be whatever the input is from this element. It's going to be username, and it's going to be a type equals text. In other words, we're going to put a text box in there. So the user's going to type into a text box. It could be pull down menus, it could be check boxes, whatever. But I'm using a text box. That's my element, and that element's called username, and it's looking for it. So here it says the name will be whatever the username is. Just to make sure we understand that that element could be called anything you want. I call it username. Okay, the text box I'm putting on there is going to be called username. It's going to go into here. Okay, now we have to get some sort of button going, so we have to send it off to our browser. So type button, a button type would be a simple button. There's different types of shapes you can have. I want to do button. And on click, so when the user clicks a button, the type of name click the button, it's going to go to the function. The function I'm looking for is this one here. I'm going to run that sequence there. So this function will be print my name parenthesis, and that's the end of the function. And that's a single HTML tag. You don't need a closing one. So basically, there'll be a text box to type in the name, there'll be a button, and I'm going to give it a name. Actually, I have to give the button a name. So it's going to be called enter. I have a label called enter, and that's the end of my button tag. Okay, so there we go, and that should do it actually. Don't think I've missed anything. Let's just try that file, save as, and we shall save this as JavaScript. Okay, let's try it again. So it'll be JavaScript 4, and we need to save it as a web page. This is a web page. Save it as 4. Okay, it's been saved. Might shrink it down a bit. Okay, so you see that and get 2 screens up at once. That's the code. Okay, a little bit bigger, and then let's just run it. We've got a save happening. It's been saved, and to run it with Google Chrome. This is what it looks like. Okay, it's loading it up. There it is. Hello, what is your name? Then it's for your property. So fix it up here and save it. Refresh it is. Hello, what is your name? That part looks good. Now it's got a text box there, right? The text box called username, and I'll type in my name, Paul. So that goes with that element. So now the variable name's got Paul in there. So it should print your name is Paul. Okay, enter. Your name is Paul, your name is Paul, your name is Paul. Great, it's looking good, it's working. Now to tidy it up, I need to have a paragraph break, so you can mix HTML code or tags inside a JavaScript string. There's a string, there's quotations. So I should separate it. Let's look at it now. Save. What is your name? I'll type in Mary. Enter. So that's looking good now. It seems to be working. Just the count. Oops, not just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. So I've got 10 there. Okay. And I want a space between is, so I'll force a space here. And let's save that. It's been saved. Refresh. What is your name? I'm going to type in Bill. Okay, type in Bill. Your name is Bill. Your name is Bill. Your name is Bill. The iteration is working. I've got 10 iterations now. Notice if I was to put count in front of it, you see the number count, and concatenate that to your. Actually, I won't put a space in front of your. So you should see the counting. See what happens. Just playing around with it. And I'll type in Sue. Your name is Sue, your name is Sue, so there it is. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 plus 0 gives you 10. So you can put a count in front of it. Thank you for watching.